All right, so as we wrap up the open here, I want to talk about what we're going to do next. As this speed competition, fast, heavy cycle wraps up, we're going to move into something a little bit kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. So that way we can rebuild our base and then taper up through the year, and then by the time this time next year, you're better, faster, stronger, etc. So what the goals of this next cycle are going to be, and this is going to cover April, May, and June, leading us right into summer. The goals of this are going to be restoration. In other words, taking it down a little bit and not doing potentially aggravating movements to your joints. Getting good practice with good quality reps. And we're going to do that through increasing the volume and lowering the intensity. Secondary goal that I didn't write on the board, but all these things that I'm going to talk about in a second are going to achieve, is getting everyone looking better for the lake. So I'm well aware that a lot of us, myself included, are aesthetically motivated as well as performingly motivated. So don't worry if you're not, none of this means anything to you. But basically you need to take away from it that these things, hypertrophy and good aerobic base building, are going to translate into you looking better. So you can turn it off now if that's all you care about. But for the rest of us, what we're going to do for our strength work is quality reps through volume, hypertrophy through volume, developing connective tissue through volume, and developing our coordination through volume. So in other words, whereas like high volume is like sets of 10, 12, 14, 20, the bigger numbers, and then lower intensity is lower percentage of effort. So like 50, 60, 65% of your 1 rep max. So what I then, to further clarify, high volume, low intensity. So like, for example, 3 sets of 10 at 65% will be something I would consider high volume, low intensity. And that's what a lot of the cycle is going to look like. That's going to allow us to, where during this competition phase, you may be sacrificing form somewhat. I think everybody does a pretty good job, but sacrificing some form in the name of speed or weight. We're going to bring it back and allow you to not focus so much on the weight or the speed, and really just work on good quality movement. So yeah, I want everyone to be able to just embrace that too. So try not to get in a competitive thing with yourself where you may feel like you're not using enough weight. I want it to be more strength by feel. So there's not going to be a lot of percentages assigned to these lifts. Our skill goals are going to relate to our strength goals. We're going to develop these skills through the strength and through high volume practice without any kipping, and through developing coordination through that volume. So if you think about doing handstand push-up, for example, or muscle up, or any of the higher skill stuff, they have a real big strength component that must be achieved before you can really safely do those movements. If you think about a handstand push-up, it's a press, but you're upside down. So for someone that's trying to get their first full range of motion handstand push-up and trying to do that, 5, 6, 7, 8 times or whatever, think about that like a 1 RM. That's like a 1 RM strict press. It's hard on your nervous system, first of all. It's hard on your body, and it's really not the correct way to establish that skill. So what we're going to try and do, or what we're going to do, is build a good base of strength, build enough muscle fibers through, for example, if we're talking about a handstand push-up, through your shoulders. So we're going to go through sets of like 8, 10, 12 for shoulder press. And then as we go through the year, we're going to taper that down, get stronger, get faster, and then somewhere along the way, you're going to be able to do handstand push-ups. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm trying to be a little bit more succinct. But same with muscle-ups. You've got to be able to muscle up. You've got to be able to pull to here through strength. And trying to do a 1 RM pull all the time is maybe not the best way to achieve that. It's definitely not. So we're going to for handstand push-ups, strict press. For muscle-ups and for chest-to-bar pull-ups, we're going to do a lot of chin-ups and pull-ups and good volume through there. So conditioning goals are going to be similar to strength goals, where we're going to develop a good base and develop the adaptations that we can, so we have more cells to then sharpen and make better through speed and intensity as we go through the year. So what that's going to mean conditioning-wise is, again, higher volume, lower intensity, and lower reps. And this is more of like just kind of letting your bodies heal type of a thing. but like longer workouts, slower pace workouts, less intense workouts. I don't mean slow. You're not going to really probably even notice a difference as far as that goes, but the overall volume of work that we're going to be doing in that conditioning, that will definitely have a good handle on. So I don't mean like we're going to go walk for 5 miles. I mean, it's just going to be a little bit longer, less interval style, and just more sustainable pace for a longer period of time. And we're going to do some of that, instead of doing so many reps, it's going to be more things like carries and holds and things that aren't going to be so, we're not going to be just hammering out so many reps and so much volume. As far as the strength emphasis on movements through these next 12 weeks are going to be, it's going to be sports, going to be doing power snatch, power clean, back squat, shoulder press, bench press, deadlift, chin up, bent over row, pistols, and their scales, handstand push-ups, and toes to bar. Performance, back squat, shoulder press, bench press, deadlift, chin up, bent over row, lunges, toes to bar, handstand push-ups. Function, back squat, dumbbell, shoulder press, push-up, floor press, Romanian deadlift, box step out, planks and holds. Now this is not only going to be those things, but that's going to be what the main focus is. And you can see it's multi-joint lifts, slower lifts, yeah, they're going to develop a good, nice base, which if I haven't said that enough already, that we can then progress through the year and to continue to develop safely, effectively, and with good sound practices and fundamentals. If you have questions on this stuff, please let me know, or comments, or things that you want to know why or how or when or what. I'm happy to answer those things.